Happy Tuesday, everyone, from Houston, Texas. Welcome to Stellar Parenting. I'm your host, Brandi. I'm an intuitive astrologer, and I also hold a Master of Science degree in psychology with an emphasis in child and adolescent development. And I'm super passionate about helping parents, teachers, guardians learn how to combine the magic of the stars with the art of consciously raising children. To schedule a natal chart session and to learn more about yourself or to learn more about your child, please visit my website, brandicon.com. I also offer parent coaching sessions as well as a certified parent coach, and I would love to help you. So, for today's show, we've got great stuff. We are going to talk about the Super Bowl. And then we're going to dive into the transits for this week. And then at the end, we will have time for a caller. So if you'd like an astrology reading or a tarot reading, please call into the show. I would love to hear from you. So let's jump into the current events. Get comfy, grab a glass of your favorite wine or coffee, tea, whatever it is you like to drink. And let's just sit back and talk about everything that's been happening over the past week. And in particular, we're going to talk about the Super Bowl here in the US. So we just had the Super Bowl on Sunday night, and the Kansas City Chiefs with quarterback Patrick Mahomes played the Philadelphia Eagles with quarterback Jalen Hurts. And Saturday, the day before the game, one of my sons asked me who I thought the winner would be. Now, I'm not a huge NFL fan, and I don't really know a lot about the stats and which teams are the best. So I had nothing to really base a prediction on that was solid. So what did I do? You guys know me. I'm going to use astrology. So I looked up the natal charts of Patrick Mahomes, the quarterback of Kansas City, and Jalen Hurts, the quarterback of the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, the Kansas City Chiefs have won the Super Bowl for the past 2 years. They were going for a three-peat on Sunday. So I was just guessing that they would be the team that would win. But I was shocked when I pulled up Patrick Mahomes' transits for that day. And I saw that he's actually going through a Venus opposition right now. So that's when transiting Venus is opposing natal Venus, adding a little pressure. And if you remember, Venus is the planet of love, beauty, pleasure, money, right? So that in and of itself is not a deal breaker. It just, Venus is about enjoying things, and it makes it a little bit harder to do our best job because we're just into relax and have fun mode. And, that could have been for Patrick Mahomes or the people around him that he was working with. Okay. But like I said, not in and of itself a deal breaker. But what I did see that concerned me was his natal Chiron was being triggered by transiting Venus. So Chiron is an asteroid in the natal chart, and it shows where we have a little bit of vulnerability, a little bit of pain, some healing to do. And his natal Chiron, that asteroid, was being activated and triggered on Sunday. So it didn't look great. It looked like it was going to be a little bit touch and go for him, anyway, just dealing with that energy. Now, on the other hand, when I pulled up the transits for Jalen Hurts, wow, he had his natal Jupiter. Now, remember, Jupiter is the planet of growth, abundance, good luck, good fortune, opportunities. His natal Jupiter was being activated by his North Node and Neptune in the most amazing way. And I'm like, wow, that's awesome that he's got that. And then on top of that, Jalen Hurts is also experiencing a Mars return, which is when transiting Mars comes back to the same location that his natal Mars was stationed at the time of his birth. And usually during Mars returns, we will have a surge of energy, a surge of passion, drive, and there's a lot of action. And there's just this desire to get things done in a major way. All right. So it's almost like Jalen Hurts really had the energy of the stars on his side, and he was able to use that in his favor. Now, here's something else that's interesting. Guess who else is also experiencing a Mars return right now? The halftime performer for the Super Bowl, Kendrick Lamar, also going through a Mars return. And just a week ago or 2 weeks ago, he won a Grammy as well. Like, it was a really big accomplishment for him. So as you can tell, Mars returns can be a time where there's a high level of achievement, because not only did we have the winning quarterback who's having a Mars return, but also the Super Bowl halftime performer and recent Grammy winner is also going through a Mars return as well. Now, when it comes to Kendrick Lamar's halftime show, some people loved it and some people didn't really like it so much. All right. Within the show, there was a lot of symbolism. There was a lot of hidden meaning about issues that African Americans face on a daily basis in the United States. Okay. So there was a deeper meaning to almost every aspect of his performance. And at the beginning of the performance, I was blown away. This was what Kendrick Lamar said right at the beginning of his performance. The revolution is about to be televised. You picked the right time, but the wrong guy. That's literally what he said at the beginning. And right when he said that, I'm like, okay, yeah, this guy is different. There's something different about him. So you guys know what I did, right? I went and looked at his natal chart, and there were no surprises there because Kendrick Lamar has his natal sun opposing his natal Uranus. Now, we've talked about Uranus quite a bit on this program. That's the planet of shocks, surprises, freedom, change, awakenings, breakthroughs, revolution, right? So people with Sun and Uranus in aspect to each other in the natal chart in some ways tend to be revolutionaries. I mean, and that's exactly what he said at the beginning of his show. So I was blown away by the connection between his words and the astrology of his natal chart. So people with Sun Uranus placements tend to be change agents that shake things up in a really major way. They're very independent. They are not here to conform to anyone else's expectations, and they bring attention to things that need to be changed. Now, here's another piece of the puzzle that you might find interesting. Guess who else also has Sun opposite Uranus? Samuel Jackson. Now, Samuel Jackson was also a part of Kendrick Lamar's halftime show. And he's also Sun opposite Uranus, just like Kendrick Lamar, which I thought was so incredibly interesting. So parents, I would recommend and advise, find out if your child has either Sun or Moon in aspect to Uranus in their natal chart. If so, then your child is really here to do something different. They're here to take a different approach. They are going to think outside of the box, and they are not here to conform to anyone else's expectations. And that can actually be a difficult natal aspect, and they might need a lot of support just feeling as if they belong, okay, like they belong here in the world. So they're here to do something extraordinary. So take note of your child's chart and find out if they have Sun in aspect to Uranus or Moon in aspect to Uranus. One other thing before we hop off of this, Kendrick Lamar mentioned the word revolution. And if you've been listening to my show for the last few weeks, you'll know that revolution is one of the themes of, drumroll, Pluto in Aquarius. Okay, Pluto in the sign of Aquarius. Pluto went into Aquarius November 19th and will be there for the next 20 years. So we keep hearing these themes. People are throwing around the word revolution quite a bit recently, and it always makes me think of Pluto and the sign of Aquarius. All right, so now we will jump into our transits for this week. Yesterday, Monday, February 10th, you may still be feeling this transit. We had Mercury 23 degrees of Aquarius squaring Uranus, 23 degrees of Taurus. So this transit is all about thinking about things in a different way or speaking about things in a different way. And, yesterday, even today, even tomorrow, you still may be feeling it. You might feel drawn to speak your truth very suddenly and very courageously. And if you are a parent of a child with planets or angles around 23 degrees of Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, or Aquarius, please keep this transit in mind this week. I've already had my youngest earlier today just spoke his mind about something out of the blue in a way that was very uncharacteristic for him. But I know that this transit was triggering his natal chart. So I understood where he was coming from. And I was actually quite proud of him. So, during this transit, maybe if your child is also being affected, they might have a hard time finding their words or saying what they want to say in a respectful way. So, in those difficult moments, just teach them how to use the energy of this transit constructively and to express themselves in a balanced and respectful way rather than destructively. Now for today, February 11th. We have Sun 23 degrees of Aquarius squaring, again, Uranus 23 degrees of Taurus. This is not an easy transit. And I know this because I have this aspect in my natal chart. And one of my most difficult life lessons has been about learning how to embrace my own uniqueness without needing the approval of other people. Okay? That's a lesson with Sun square Uranus. Also, like we were speaking about Kendrick Lamar earlier, Sun opposite Uranus. That's also a lesson with that aspect as well. So with Sun squaring Uranus, this is an unpredictable transit, ladies and gentlemen, okay? And it can be very unpredictable on a personal level as well as on the level of world events or current events, all right? So when I feel into this duo, when I feel into the energy of Sun Uranus, the best way that I can describe this is it's really about being comfortable in your own skin and leaning more into your uniqueness, into what makes you different, what makes you special. Even when others demand that you should conform to their expectations of how they think you should be. But this transit is not a time for anyone to conform. This transit is all about meeting that uncomfortable feeling of being different, of being unique, yet knowing that you're not here to make other people happy. You are here to live in alignment with your higher self, with your highest truth. And you cannot do that if you are living to make other people happy. Okay? You are here to stand firm in who you are. So please remember this week, as we've got Sun square Uranus, things might feel a little bit unpredictable, especially if your natal planets are being triggered and you might feel drawn or the need to conform. And I would just tell you to follow your alignment with who you're meant to be. Okay? And don't feel as if you have to conform to the expectations of other people. Keep this in mind for your children as well. Tomorrow, February 12th. Now, this is huge. We will have a full moon at 24 degrees of the fire sign of Leo. And this is not a full moon to take lightly, okay? It also has a strong element of unpredictability. Because guess what? This full moon will be squaring a planet. And I'm sure you can guess which planet. Drum roll, please. Uranus. Okay, there we go. Now remember, Uranus is the planet of change, freedom, shocks, surprises, awakenings, breakthroughs, and revolution. So with this full moon, takes place tomorrow, you're probably already feeling the energy. I want you to expect the unexpected. So there's a chance, like in your personal life, things might change suddenly. There might be information revealed that's been hidden from you, or that you were not aware of. Things, just might feel like they've been shaken up on some level. Okay, so this is on a personal level and with world events as well, because Leo is the sign of leadership. Okay, and we might see developments with world leaders or regarding world leaders. And since this is all happening in a fire sign, things might feel really, really dramatic. Okay. And this is especially true for people with planets or angles around 24 degrees of the fixed signs. And the fixed signs are Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, and Aquarius. So we're talking like anywhere, I'd say, a few degrees before, a few degrees after. Please check your chart. This is a very, very um, turbulent full moon. And you would serve yourself if you had some type of awareness as to how this is affecting you and where it's showing up in your chart, and which area of your life might experience some surprises or changes. So check your chart so that you'll know. And once again, also check your child's chart so that you can support them during this time. Let's say you've got a preteen, adolescent, teenager, college student, and something changes for them, something changes in their life, or there's something big that happens. Then you will be better able to support them through this process. And this full moon is not just coming to shake things up as punishment. Usually when we have change, it's because we are heading towards something that's better aligned with who we are, or better aligned with where we are heading in life. So always look at it or think about it in that way. Friday, February 14th, Valentine's Day here in the US, we will have Mercury moving out of the sign of Aquarius, out of the air sign of Aquarius, and into the gentle water intuitive sign of Pisces. Okay. So when I tune into the energy just intuitively of Mercury and Pisces, Mercury and Pisces feels very relaxed, and he's very dreamy, and he's not worried about facts and figures and data. Okay. Pisces is a water sign. Pisces tends to be very spiritually connected. Pisces is all about compassion and empathy. So this is where Mercury is heading when he's in the sign of Pisces. He really likes to visualize an ideal society where love, empathy, and compassion are the basis for everything. And this Mercury really wants to connect on an energetic level with those around him. Now, Mercury and Pisces also is really inspired when it comes to art, when it comes to music, and when it comes to photography. Okay, so just remember that Mercury and Pisces is very tuned into his feelings, and he's tuned into the feelings of others. But it can be really hard. Remember, Mercury is the planet of communication, but when we put him in the waters of Pisces, sometimes it's hard for him to communicate how he feels or what he's thinking, because it's not always clear in the water sign of Pisces. So Mercury in Pisces really benefits from turning inside, turning his attention inward, and listening to his intuition. Now, the lower side of expression with Mercury and Pisces is really, he kind of wants to just escape this world and go into a fantasy land or a dream world. And he can do that through excessive screen use, being on the phone, social media a lot, TV, YouTube, iPad, all of those things. Also, overconsumption of food, of drink, sleeping, too much shopping, all of these things that can really numb how we're feeling have to do with Mercury and Pisces. Mercury and Pisces might also be afraid to speak his truth. It's a little bit easy for him to distort the truth at times. So if you've got a child that will be affected by this placement, just be really supportive of them over the next few weeks as they're figuring out how to express themselves and how to express themselves in a truthful way. Okay, so that's all for the transits for this week. We have time for our caller. We have Kim from Massachusetts. Hi, Kim.
Hi there.
How are you?
I could be better, but I'm okay. Thank you.
Okay, good, good. Would you like tarot or astrology today?
Mm, I'll take tarot.
Okay, let's do tarot. And would you just like a general spread?
Uh, yeah.
Okay. Okay. So let's see what's going on, Kim. I'm going to connect with you, connecting with my guides here. We just want to know what's going on with Kim. What does Kim need to know that will serve her highest good? Okay. Let's see. Let's see. One more. All right, Kim, I'm going to shuffle and I want you to tell me when to stop, please. Okay.
Okay. Okay. Stop.
Okay. All right. Let's see what we've got. Okay. So as I'm looking, I did a Celtic cross spread here. It does look as if you're moving into territory that's a little bit less turbulent, moving into calmer waters. So it feels as if there's been some shakeups, some chaos, and now you're heading into more of a quieter period. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah.
Okay, okay. But the challenge here is I know that we've got we have the magician card. So it feels as if as I'm coming out of this chaotic situation and I'm heading into calmer waters, I kind of feel at times as if maybe I don't really have the power to manifest what I want, or I'm afraid of not getting exactly what I want. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah.
Okay, okay. And I love your spread actually. Over the next 2 weeks, you have the Nine of Cups. Now, the Nine of Cups is one of my favorite cards in the whole deck because it's all about wishes being granted. Okay. So there's this whole feeling of wishes being granted, things becoming a little lighter for you, things becoming a little easier. Now, within the next month, we do have the Justice card here. So if you feel as if you have been mistreated in any way, someone was unfair to you, or if there are legal proceedings, I feel that actually things will shift favorably in your way. Does that make sense?
I hope so.
Okay, okay. What I love is you've got the hope and you've got the card of hope and healing, which is the star, as your personal power card. So right now, the star, this is another card. It's funny, it's mirroring the Six of Swords that I have here. It's all about going into healing, going into a better place after really going through a lot of difficulty, a lot of obstacles and challenges within your life. Okay, so I've got two cards here that show, hey, I'm coming out of something that's been really difficult, but things are going to get better for me. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah. Now, I do have here a card, the Five of Swords, and the Five of Swords is all about conflict or disagreement with other people. And usually this tends to be like verbal conflict or verbal disagreement with either someone else or a group of people. Does that make sense for you?
Yeah.
Okay. Because that's the card that that's coming right now. That's right here, just as I'm looking at your deck. And so I know as you're moving into a better time for yourself where things are going to feel a little bit lighter, there's still a chance, I feel, that there could be disagreement with other people or from other people. Does that make sense to you, Kim?
Yeah.
Okay. And what I want you to remember is the outcome card. We've got the Knight of Swords, and I always get the Knight of Swords whenever someone needs to stand their ground, someone needs to speak up for themselves, someone needs to assert themselves. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. And that's what I would encourage you to do. So, just as I'm feeling into the energy now, I know things have been difficult. It feels as if they're getting better. Another obstacle or challenge may come up from someone else. But what you're being asked to do is to stand in your strength, to speak up for yourself, to speak your mind and your perspective and not shrink back. Okay.
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 I am.
All right. Okay. Good.
Oh.
Good. Good. Well, we are almost out of time, but thank you so much for calling in today. And I really hope things get really a lot better for you over the next few weeks. Okay, Kim?
Yes, thank you. I just wanted to say I lost my son 7 years ago today. And it's been a bit of a, I feel in my heart, and I know in my heart that something went wrong at the facility he was staying in.
Oh, wow. I'm so sorry to hear that, Kim. My heart goes out to you, and I do feel the energy of your son here. I feel him here, and he's sending love to you. And I only have a few seconds left. I wish I could have spent a little bit more with you on that, but I'm so sorry about your loss.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you, Kim. And thank you all for joining us. Thanks for joining me this week. And remember, the stars guide us, but in the end, we shape our destiny. Have a great week.